Look, that one question my dad was listening online. He's asking, can you explain the meaning of Chitta Prajna? And also I think Naraha and Kunjar, something you mentioned. Yeah.
So Sthit Prajna comes from the Gita, where it has been described as a psychological state where a person is sage who is unmoved by, as an ocean is unmoved by all the waters of desire that enter into him. Desires will come from every side. They will try to arouse in us reactions of anger, lust, greed, but you are unmoved inside. So this is the Sthit Prajna. It is the condition of someone who has perfected Buddhi Yoga. But Buddhi Yoga, at the end, Shri Krishna says that, well, it will go to a point, but even the mind of the sage may be overtaken. He agrees. When Arjun says that it can be, he says yes. So he says, how can we really arrive at that perfection? He says, mere Buddhi Yoga is not enough. You have to ultimately take refuge in me. Mat paraha ma asita. So it's a package. But it is the state of mind of a sage who remains calm, undisturbed under changing circumstances. That is Sthit Prajna in very simple term. If you analyze the word, then his buddhi, pragya. So he is established in that right intelligence, discernment. So this is what we were discussing, that when events happen, his pragya automatically, tells him that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yet this is the path you have taken. So Sthit Prajna is that. Narova Kunjaro was, I was referring to an episode in the Mahabharata. So the difference between technical right, this was, I don't know how somebody heard, it was a private conversation with regard to the kangaroos, that if I don't see kangaroos, just play it on the TV, I'll go near on internet and I'll go as near as that, and I can say, I went to Australia and I saw kangaroos as near as this. So this is called being technically right. Did I say a lie? No. But I have concealed some very important information. So there are times when you don't reveal the full thing. So the story goes that Dronacharya is unassailable. He is, after all, the guru. He is trained by Parshuram, and Arjun can kill him, but Arjun won't kill him. Arjun never used his deadliest weapons. Pashupatasri never uses. There is a story, just as an aside. Before the war starts, spies are active here and there. So Yudhishthir gets all the thing about the enemy. And then he comes and says, Arjun, I have a problem. What? He says, my spies have reported to me that there was a discussion going on in Kaurava army. And they were asking, Duryodhan was asking Bhishma, how long can you take to destroy and etc. So Karna says 6 days I can demolish. Then Dronacharya, he says, I'll take maybe 3 days. Bhishma, he says 1 day. I can finish off their whole army. But I am worried. There are these 3 stalwarts. 6 days, 3 days, 1 day. So I have come to ask you how long you will take. So Arjun says, bro, in 1 moment I can do it. He says, because he had the Pashupatastra, the deadliest weapon of Shiva from the destroyer. He says, 1 moment it will take me to destroy. But I won't use it. I won't need it. Why? Because Krishna is with us. He could destroy it in 1 moment. So he will not use this. So now, what is the use? But Dronacharya has to go. So Krishna, as we talked, is a master strategist. See, this is not lying. It is strategy in war, which is very different. All warcraft includes strategizing. How did India have the second nuclear bomb or the nuclear bomb? You see that movie Parmanu. All CIA intelligence gathering, the satellites thought that an activity is taking place there. It was a decoy. But actually it was taking place elsewhere. And then suddenly the atomic bomb was. Similarly, you see the Balakot strike. These aircrafts flew in a different direction, and the entire Pakistan army was alert that, look, aircrafts are going to enter on that side. And here the aircrafts went and they finished what they had to do. Now, is it lie? Foolishness. It's a warcraft. You have to be cautious. You have to be conscious. You are fighting a war. You don't. So, and they realized it. They didn't say, oh, they didn't cry foul. You did this and did that. War is about that. Everybody does that. Even Rama's time, that's what. So, what does Shri Krishna devise? He says there is one way that Dronacharya can be defeated. And the prophecy that Drishtadumna will kill Dronacharya will be fulfilled. He is born to kill Dronacharya. This is how. He said, you know what, Yudhishthira? See, I am only giving a suggestion. Up to you. So what is the suggestion? Bhim will kill the elephant called Ashwathama. Animal lovers, please close your ears. It's a war going on, okay? Where fate of nations and of humanity is being decided. So, he says, Bhim, you will go and kill that elephant called Ashwathama. He says, that's easily I can do it. I have 10,000 Hathi ka bal and I just need one little mace and it will be done. So, okay, then we will all say, Ashwathama hato hata. So, he will not believe anybody. He will believe only if Yudhishthira says. So, Yudhishthira says, I won't tell. If he asks me, then I can't do anything. I can say Ashwathama hato hata, but if he asks me, what will I say? I can't tell a lie. So he says, okay, you will say a truth. What is the truth? Naro va kunjaro. Not the human, but the elephant. So he says, okay, that's fair enough. So Bhima kills Ashwathama Hathi. And then he says, Ashwathama hato hata. And as predicted, he asked Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira, is it true that my son is dead? He says, Ashwathama hato hata. That's true. Naro va kunjaro. That time Krishna, as a master strategist, said, raise the din. So everybody is beating the drum. Ashwathama is dead, dead, dead. He can't listen. He is saying Naro va kunjaro, but he can't listen. So he puts his arms down because Ashwathama had this one weakness right from beginning. And this weakness cost the entire, not only then, you see, it was such a dangerous thing. He was so attached to his son, he gave him Brahmastra, all this, because of which whatever happened toward the end. So he abandons his arms and he is sitting on the... Are you supposed to do this on a battlefield? When Arjuna tries to do this, Krishna says, what kind of nonsense are you doing? Who told you to abandon your arms? You should have fought with a greater vigor. But he abandons all his arms. He says, oh, the purpose of my life is gone. That is the time. Sri Krishna doesn't say anything, but everything is moving by a silent will. Drishtadumna suddenly goes, takes out his sword and beheads Dronacharya. At that moment, Arjuna is, oh my God, I'll do something, I'll kill Drishtadumna. And Sri Krishna says, hold on, stay calm. So that's the story of Ashwathama. Actually, this shows the difference between what is technical truth. So, Yudhishthira didn't tell a lie. Krishna certainly didn't tell a lie. Technically, it was true. See, he could have even done it without killing the elephant. Look at it. But he doesn't say that. He says, kill. So there is a technical truth involved in it. There is no lie. He could have just said, raise a din and cry and say Ashwathama. No. He kills and then he speaks. But he has created a strategy, which is a part of warcraft. If you don't do it, then you don't know the dharma of politics and war. Then you don't know anything about war. War involves it. And there was a chance that Dronacharya may not have sat down. He got very furious and used Brahmastra. There was a chance Krishna had taken. And Ashwathama got very annoyed. He shoots the Narayanastra again, which was given by Dronacharya. I'm just extending the story a little bit. So Ashwathama gets very annoyed. He has all kinds of weapons which his doting father has given him without being an adhikari. So he has the Narayanastra. Narayanastra, you can't just fight with it. So the moment he shoots Narayana Astra, Shri Krishna tells them, bow down, bow down, bow down. Bhima says, no. I don't bow before any Astra. He starts doing. But the beauty of that Narayana Astra was, the more you resist, the more it's going to increase its intensity. It's Narayan's Astra. You can't fight it. The only way is to surrender. If you surrender, it won't harm you. It's a very beautiful story, instructive. Sometimes God is seemingly on the opposite side, seemingly favoring all that is. What should you do at that time? Be humble, be surrendered. If such is your will, so be it. So everybody surrender. Then Krishna jumps onto Bhima's Rath, puts him by the head and says, bow down. That's how the Narayana Astra goes, and he can't do, because he got very annoyed. So if you look at the larger picture, was Drona's killing justified? Of course it was justified. You are standing up, supporting a man who is a crook and a criminal and a totally ambitious prince who will destroy everything. What should you do? And even then he keeps to mind that there is a technical truth. So that was the Naro Va Kunjaro.
Alok, but if it was a technical truth, then why do they say that Yudhishthira, we always used to,
Yes, yes. For Yudhishthir, that was his sadhana. As the story goes, Yudhishthir's sadhana was that he will utter truth. He is like a promise he has given to himself. His whole yoga and life is centered around this idea that even technically I must not lie. Though he has technically said the truth, but what is missing? He knows somewhere there is an intent. Yudhishthir knows what it's going to spell. So for Yudhishthir, because Yudhishthir is a virtuous man, and as the story goes from that moment onwards, of course this is a symbolic way, surely there was no chariot hanging in the air, but it's like it stepped on the ground. So that's how it is said, and the story continues. It continues when they are ascending into heaven. But again, we come to the Papa and Punya. Technically, you may say it's a Papa and he will suffer Papa, not Papa, sorry, but he may suffer in hell. Okay? Should a man be worried about hell and heaven when the destiny of a nation is in your hands? Tell me what is ultimate virtue. Answer is obvious. There is a very beautiful line which comes in Ilion. Sorry, going to a different. So there Sri Aurobindo describes that there is a messenger who goes from the side of Achilles. Achilles is a great warrior. I don't know whether somebody is. Ilion is a fantastic poem. I just love it. Sri Aurobindo said after Savitri, this was the one he loved it most favorite, but who could not complete it. So when he goes carrying Achilles' message to King Priam, so Sri Aurobindo describes it's first of all in hexameter, which is a very difficult meter in English poetry. Very few have tried it. Sri Aurobindo has put it in Ahana as well as in Ilion. And he says, old and fragile he came, carrying the destiny of a nation in his feeble hands. Look at it, feeble hands. He is old. But he is carrying the destiny of a nation. What is his offer? You get your daughter married to Achilles and you will be impregnable. Because Achilles is a killing machine. So, it's a wonderful poem. So Priam calls everybody. Says, what shall we do? So everybody gives their own idea. There is a woman character there who is fighting, Penthesilea. So he asks Penthesilea, you want to fight for us? Okay, why do you want to fight? He says, I am not interested in fight. I want to fight against Achilles. I have heard so much about him. I idolize him. Just imagine. So he says, I want to see, is he really worth that? Look at the cause of fight. Then after hearing everybody, he calls Helen. He says, what shall we do? He asks her only one question. All the warriors, there is a book of assembly, he asks them one by one. But to Helen, he asks only one question. Do you still love my boy? And she says, yes. And then Priam says, there will be war. Just imagine what greatness. So you see, this idea of shrinking from papa and punya and a place in hell, if hell comes, so be it. The divine work is so much more important. There is a line in Savitri where Sri Aurobindo describes Mother Durga. I reckon not. Where is Savitri? I reckon not of virtue and of sin, but do the deed God has put into my heart. I shrink not from the angry frown of hell and the opposition of the gods. So there is something beyond good and virtue, beyond hell and heaven. So yes, people will say, Yudhishthir, you lied. Okay. But right now, see how, to what level Mahabharata takes us when Mahabharata is a Dharma Shastra. You are faced with such dilemmas. Yudhishthir could have said, see, I have kept my promise. No, I never lied. But a nation's destiny was at stake. He would have remained Mr. Clean, I am clean hands. But world would have failed. Divine mission would have, of course, ultimately he will accomplish. Sri Krishna had that ultimate ace trick up his sleeve, which is Sudarshan Chakra. So that's how we have to look at it. There is something beyond our sense of virtue and vice, beyond our sense of good and evil, beyond our sense of, being goody-goody, beyond our sense of having a seat booked forever in heaven. There is something much greater. And that is the divine unfolding in creation. That is the ultimate dharma. That's what Shri Krishna teaches to Arjuna. Well, Arjuna also asks. He uses the word ghore karma, karmam ghoram. Why are you impelling me to do this kind of a deed? I know you can justify everything. But this kind of a deed, gory deed, I have to fight against my guru, against my dada. How can it be justified? And then Shri Krishna raises the bar. He takes him through all the levels and then ultimately says, Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyaji ma namaskuru. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshishyami mascha. I'll deliver you from all sin and evil. Do not grieve. Abandon yourself. Surrender. Be like my sword if that be the need. Be like a leaf in the tempest. Be like my flute if that be the need. So that was the greatness. So dharma's ultimate sense is beyond good and evil, constructed by human beings, beyond heaven and hell, beyond virtue and vice. That's where we see Shri Krishna is taking us to another level. So while he respects Yudhishthir's wish to be technically right, and he tells him that, well, if you don't want to say, you don't say. I will accomplish, but it's going to be with a much more difficult way. Maybe one of the Pandavas may die. After all, Shri Krishna had not taken this that I will save all the Pandavas. He loved him, but much more important was the destiny of the nation. That I will accomplish. Arjuna and myself is enough. This fellow is surrendered to me, I'll ensure that the battle. But whether you guys will survive or not, we don't know. He doesn't say in so many words, but it's implied. So that's why he does Ghatotkach, he does, what he does. So Gita is very profound. It takes us beyond the human conceptions of right and wrong, good and evil.